Good afternoon. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. Welcome. Happy Sunday to everyone today. I hope that you've been having a blessed weekend and enjoying family and friends and also church today. Okay. If you didn't, you can go back and watch the replay from earlier because we actually went to church here at the open book earlier. Welcome, Rebecca. She said, "Hey, open book boo, just dropping in to show some love, but I'm listening in the bushes." Thank you, Rebecca. I love you, sis. Thank you for joining. Welcome, everyone. We're going to go into part two today with our Queen of Kings follow up. Mom effects. Okay. Now, I did a poll in the chat to see how many of you are currently following the Queen of Kings. And so far, 75% of you are actually following this family. And I recently started following them as well. And a lot has transpired since I started. Okay. As I mentioned in another live, this situation with the Queen of Kings, this family, there are a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of layers to this thing. And a lot of content creators are covering this story and just reacting to some of the things that we see while watching the lives and so forth. And so right now I am pretty much focusing on the mom because now the mom has entered the scene, y'all. Entered the scene. She has a new book, she has a new YouTube channel, and she is speaking out. Okay, she is speaking out. And so I noticed that a lot of times they are telling things, they're focused on the same topic, but it seems as though they're telling things two different ways. And it's hard to determine who is actually telling the truth, Rose or her mother. Okay. I know recently there was a live and it was deleted at the end, but I did catch some of that live where the title of the live caught a lot of people's attention. Okay. The title of that live was "My Brother Was Unalived Because of My Mom." And so I'm looking like, and a lot of people, when they were entering the chat, "Hey, Lolo, hey, sis, thank you so much." When a lot of the people entering that chat, they were a little confused too, okay, because it was such a shocking title because we had just seen Rose and her mom on live probably two times right before that particular live, okay? And so I noticed that it didn't start off where she was crying or looking a certain type of way. Hey, Aries Black, welcome, sis. Thank you for joining. But she was still doing things, moving around the house, giving the kids some food here and there. But then she would come back to the camera and she would keep saying, "Okay, y'all get my likes up." And I'm looking like, wait a minute. You're talking about a serious topic like "My brother was unalived because of my mom," and you're worrying about getting 200 likes. Okay. So I already knew something was up with this live. Okay. Because it wasn't connecting the title and how she was acting. A lot of the things that she does get critiqued, because I will be honest, there are some concerning things that we see when she's interacting with her children. And a lot of the feedback she takes as a negative, but it's actually constructive feedback to help her. Because if she's talked about how, her mother was not there like that, she really doesn't seem as though she has a village around her. There are some things that even a lot of us moms, we could learn from others. I was a little concerned yesterday on one of her lives. She was working out, her and her husband, and her baby was in there. And I was so nervous that one of those dumbbells were about to fall on the baby. And it's not a clean and sanitary area to put your baby on the floor like that. And then the other three kids were outside in the pool unsupervised. Okay. Now, unless she has a nanny that we don't know about yet, or she asked a neighbor to keep an eye on the kids, that was a little concerning too. Okay. And so her viewers and subscribers are speaking up, okay, for the safety of the children, because there are things that we are noticing that she's doing. Now, she's paying attention, obviously, because it seems as though she's been posting, trying to prove herself or prove different things to everyone. Okay. Some of this stuff, we don't have to have proof. It's like proving something that you said, but then said that we are wrong because we're saying that you were lying. I don't understand that. That was a lie. If it wasn't true, it's considered a lie. And so just having to backtrack and try to prove this, prove that, I don't see what that is necessarily doing, because people are still watching and people are picking up on some things. Okay, so I want to get right into it because I get some feedback. Oh, you're talking too much, baby. I haven't gotten on a live where people do not talk. Who just sits on the live? Okay. We are going to talk. And also, those of you who are new here, there may be times where I stop the video and we talk about a part of the video. I am also engaging with everyone that's in the chat and so forth. So as you come back and watch more and more, you will kind of see how things flow here at the Open Book. So I thank you all so much for joining. If you all can click and hit that like button, I'm going to start with this first video. Okay, hold on one second. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, I want to get past the commercial.
Okay. So then when I get off the second live of her like going crazy on me, I realized that she's now created a YouTube channel. All of my family know that I am very successful YouTuber at this point, and they see the way that YouTube has like changed my life and made me able to buy other businesses and buy houses and whatnot, right? So Brett has also told you guys before, when me and Brett's wedding, we didn't talk again years, months before our wedding. And then we still invited her to our wedding. She wasn't going to come, but she came because all the whole rest of the family came. And of course, they were going to be like, what? Mom wasn't there. So, anyways, she came to our wedding, and Brett has talked about this before. She just randomly started calling me bitches at our wedding. Like, fuck you, bitch. After I said I do, we started leaving, and she claims that she got drunk. I don't know. But she just started saying, fuck you, bitch, at my wedding. And like ruined my whole wedding. So Brett and I, we did another wedding. We renewed our vows because the wedding, we paid like $30,000 for the wedding. And that one thing just ruined my whole freaking day. Like I was crying so hard. So we did a vow renewal. Anyways, she got on this live, and then I realized after that she's now making content. She's now trying to start a YouTube channel. Okay, that's good. Kudos to you.
Okay. So basically, first of all, I was nervous with this robe situation that she had. I'm like, please don't flash us, okay? Because with the angle views, if Rose ever hears this, sometimes it's angled, a little risque, either, you're crossing your legs and so forth. So things like that, I was a little nervous about. So I was a little confused with this portion of the video because the video stated my brother was unalive because of my mom. So I was confused as far as why was Rose talking about her wedding and her mom being at her wedding and just started cursing her out. To me, there was no background given. We didn't know anything about why her mom was cursing her out. And it seemed like it was just random that she started talking about her mom cursing her out. And so her mom did a live because I think she watched this whole video, Rose's whole video, And there was an attempt, I believe it was an attempt, to try to prove that Rose was not telling the truth and to justify why she was going live. Okay. So I wanted to kind of play a little of the mom's, her counter to this live and show a short portion of an intro to the live. Okay. So let's take a look at that.
Rose does. I'm not into all of this, you know. I feel like this is defamation of character. So I must get on here and defend myself as a woman, as a real estate broker, as a book author, and as a mother. Rose is not my only child. I have other kids. 5 kids other than Rose.
Now, what I do want you all to pay attention to, notice how she continues to say that over and over, that Rose is not my only child. Pay attention to the things that people say and the things that they do not say. Okay.
Okay, and they're all adults right now. And I'm gonna get on here today, and I just want you guys to know, first of all, every single thing that Rose is telling to you is completely a lie. And I hate to say it like that. Yes, our family has had some issues. I've been hearing people have been calling my phone, emailing me, and all sorts of things. One thing I can say for sure, our family has had our ups and downs. But one thing I am not is a pedophile. I don't sleep with children. That is such a horrible thing to say. That the son that I raised, my stepson, that I took to football practice, every event when his father was running the streets. Yes, his father ran the streets. We had our kids when we were young. He had his child when he was young, younger than me. I think he had his first kid when he was like 14. He may have had his son. And he's a few years older than me. So yeah, we had kids young. And so, you know, we did our best in raising our kids and tried to have them in a good home. We were real estate investors and all of that good stuff. But at the same time, behind the scenes, as a wife, I was going through my issues. I was going through domestic violence, financial abuse, emotional abuse, and all of those things. It's funny how Rose is changing the whole entire scenario around. When I met my ex-husband, I was a sweet young lady that didn't even cuss. If you read my book, you will literally see he actually encouraged me. Why are you not?
Also, we took note the last live. Pay attention to how many times she promotes this book. And she does have a book. It is available on Amazon for those of you who are just following and did not know that part. But the mom has a book out called Breaking the Cycles.
Not cussing at your kids, because I had 2 kids before I met him. I had my kids really young. I have a long story. If you read my book, you can find out. But anyway, I'm not trying to promote my book. I'm actually trying to clear my name, okay? So when I met him, he took on my son that was still an infant because my 2 kids' father had went away to jail, okay? He did his time. He was a great guy too, but you know, I do want to get on here and say one thing before I start all of this. I want to say that my ex-husband, the person that actually abused me, I am not trying to hurt his character, because him as a person today, he has changed his life around. Do you know that I left him in 2003, sweetheart? I got divorced 2003, my loves. That was a long, long time ago. I have grown, he has grown, and life goes on. The only person that's actually hurting and trying to get famous on the internet by using me and others is Rose Rogers. Oh, Miller, okay? So the truth is that me and my ex-husband, he apologized to me one day, and I genuinely accepted his apology. But I still wanted to tell my story. I didn't want to stop telling my story because my story can help a lot of women today. You know, we get into these relationships and we think that, oh, he's loving me, he's taking care of me. This is a great guy, especially after you've been through cycles of abuse. You know what I mean? But then you meet somebody and you think, okay, this is the one. And then you find out, like, he's hurting me. he's keeping me. He rolled my books over when I was trying to go to nursing school so I would not go to school. You understand what I'm saying? He beat me while I was pregnant with my daughter, and this is way before my stepson passed away. Okay, to clear that up. The abuse started with my ex-husband actually before I.
Okay, so I just want to point out, remember earlier, for those of you who are just joining in, Rose's title to her live was My Brother Was Unalive Because of My Mom. So the brother that she was referring to was not her mom's biological son. This was her stepson. Okay, so they have the same fathers, Rose and the brother.
Even had Rose about 10, 15 years, 10 years before my stepson even passed away. I got to remember all of this because I got to bring it all back, right? I just want you guys to know I'm a woman of God. I love God so much. And I'm not one of them ones that just holler God and don't believe in him. I wake up to God, I live God, I pray through God, I ask him to help me through the day, and I've always believed and loved God. And I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. You know, my mom was a Jehovah's Witness. My mom is an awesome, amazing, beautiful woman. She has made her mistakes, just like my ex-husband has made his mistakes, and now he changed his life. He's a preacher, he's a bishop, and I'm happy for him. But the story still remains of what I went through that can help other women today. It's not a story to bash him for who he is today or to bash anybody for who they are. Rose speaking on my mother and my father, saying that my mother sold drugs and all that. Rose has never seen my mother sell drugs. I have never seen my mother sell drugs. So that right there is a lie and complete defamation of character to my loving, amazing, beautiful, and awesome mother. You know what I'm saying? Rose even said on here and told you guys that her own dad, I don't know, some things about her dad. I don't know. You guys, it seems like she says a lot of good stuff about her dad, but reality is when she was getting married, her dad said, why didn't you ask?
Okay, so I wanted to pause there for a second because I want to bring up the video because remember the part that we just ended on was Rose said that her mom showed up at her wedding and just started cursing her out. So I wanted to see what was the mom going to say about that. Did she have a reason why, or did she even bring up anything to do with this wedding? Okay, so let's hear what she had to say about the wedding.
About her dad, but reality is when she was getting married, her dad said, why didn't you ask me to marry you? And Rose said, oh, because I didn't want you to marry me, blah, 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 blah. She had another person marry her. On the day of Rose's marriage, let's skip to that. Rose got married. I drove to Las Vegas from Los Angeles, California. I was extremely excited. If anybody is a mother, they'll know their daughter getting married, the first marriage of the whole family is like, I was so excited. I told everybody got to come to Rose's marriage. This is so amazing. This is so awesome. I had already knew Brett. I had been coming around. You know, I spent months and days back and forth from California to Vegas. At one point, I even was homeless because I went through a situation where someone told me I could get an apartment and then she reneged on the apartment. So I was homeless for probably like a couple months or so. And Rose was like, why won't you come out here with me? You can help watch my kids while I go to work. She was actually a entertainer, a stripper at the time. And she said, why don't you watch my kids for me? I be needing people to watch my kids. I don't trust everybody with my kids. Come on, why are you staying in hotels? Because I had money, so I was staying in hotels. And I was happy staying in California in the hotels. I did not mind that. But I said, you know what? I want to go see my kids, my grandkids and everything because I always came back and forth. When Rose living in Vegas, I was always back and forth. As a matter of fact, all of the kids, because I have kids in Miami, I got kids in LA, now Texas. My kids like to travel. I don't know. So I have kids everywhere, Ohio, but we all came together for Rosie's wedding, just like we all would come together and meet in Vegas. The whole time that I knew Brett, he's a liar. I love you, Brett, but you are a liar. If you sit on social media and say that you only saw me once or twice, Red, can we stop lying? Because this is getting. Listen, Rose just called me a second ago and she.
Okay. Now, y'all. Okay, so I'm trying to give both parties the benefit of the doubt and really explain the different scenarios from their perspectives. Okay. Rose has told us a little about the wedding, which that came out of nowhere, right, Eric? That came out of nowhere, unalive, about her brother being unalive. She started talking about her wedding. Then she said at the end of her wedding, when they were walking out, her mom was allegedly saying F you, F you. So I'm like, man, if the mom has seen this video, her mom is now coming over here to really to tell us what really happened about the wedding. Well, so far, what we've gotten out of the mom is she was so happy that her daughter was getting married, and her and some of the siblings even went to the wedding. And then we go into Brett, you're a liar. Like, where are you trying to help your case? Okay. Because she said that her name, she's trying to pretty much, her name, her character is being defamed and so forth. And she's trying to tell the truth. She said Rose is lying about everything. But that's a generalized statement. What part of that was she lying about? Because you have to pay attention to the things that people say and the things that people do not say. At this point, it's kind of hard to determine who's telling the truth in this scenario with the wedding, because we just hear a very vague, my mom came and she started cussing me out. There was never a reason given as to why her mom would have shown up at her wedding and started cursing her out. But then the mom did not even address that part. She said she was happy that she went and so forth. But then it seems like her conversations are all over the place. That was quite interesting. Okay, so let's continue. Rose has now just put this random part about the wedding. I don't know if she was trying to show us more so her mom's character. I don't know, but it was very random in the slide. So let's continue to see where she is going with this.
I'm so happy for you. This morning, I wake up, I get on YouTube, and the first thing I see is 5-year-old pictures of me and my two mono race children and her. And she's like, we have great times when there's no negativity, like trying to paint this facade that she's this amazing person.
And I don't know if I like mono race children. That terminology that she's using to describe her children.
Or this soft, sweet person. And it's just like, I called her and said, hey, can you please, congratulations to your new 200 subscribers that you got from me. I looked at your videos right before our live and you were getting 9 views and now you're getting 1,000 views. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. But can you please just not mention me and my family? Like, whenever I've mentioned you, the most that I've mentioned is I don't have a great relationship with my mom. And I mentioned I wish it was better. After that lie that you did on my public platform, and the way that you behaved on that I'm welcoming you and inviting you to, what you did on my public platform was not okay. So when I call you and say, hey, can you please not post again? She didn't post not a single picture of him or race, because my husband has said he feels like she does not like our kids for a certain reason, maybe because their color, maybe because she's jealous, whatever the reason. That's how my husband feels. I didn't say that. That's what my husband literally said to her. She can't show a picture, not even with race, because she doesn't have a picture with race, because after I got with Brett, everything tarnished, like completely tarnished. Anyways, so now I want to talk about my brother, since we did.
Okay, so for those of you who didn't see the other live, um, At the end of that second live with her mom, things did not go too well. Rose was trying to get an answer to a question about, does she feel like Rose was more so like her dad than her other siblings? They were over talking each other. If you haven't seen that live I did, the first Mom Effects live, that's when we started dissecting and really talking about that live. But this is part two. And so um, her mom really, did not answer the question. And it was a lot of going back and forth saying, you're lying. No, you're lying. You're lying. Going back and forth. Like right now, we can still see that they are trying to go tit for tat, saying this one is lying and this one is lying. And so it didn't end well. Her mom actually got off of the live abruptly. And so you can tell the way that Rose was talking about her in this live that there's still some animosity. She still has not gotten over that. And she was a little angry. She did not want her mother sharing her children's pictures on her new YouTube channel. Okay. So she said that they had just had a conversation about that. She does not understand why her mom, in her opinion, does not like her last two children with her husband. And so that's also a point of contention as well. And so her mom sort of talked about a little of that in her life. So let's see, what did her mom have to say?
Mom, you know I do this for a living. I'm going to tell you one thing. Yes, indeed, you do this for a living, and I would never want to stop your flow of cash, and I would never want to stop your flow, period. But you will not use me and define my character, defamation of character, for your profit. That can't happen, because I also have businesses that I do for a living. I am a real estate broker, and I worked so hard to get to that level, and I've been in real estate for 10 years, going on 10 years, 9 years, and I am licensed in California as well as Georgia. If you look me up and Google me, you'll see all the homes I sold. While I was in Georgia, me and Rose was together. We both lived in Georgia. I bet you she didn't tell you that. Rose was at my house all the time. Roz was at my house all the time. I was there when not Roz was born, because he was born in Ohio, but I was actually there when Raiden was born. I was all around Rose when Roz, the baby that they say I don't like because he's white. That's so stupid. When Roz was born, not Roz, so many kids. When Race was born.
Okay, so she didn't know. I was like, oh, Mom, you're not doing too well with this part if you're trying to prove a point, because it makes it look like she really does not know even the children's names, like the youngest children's names. And I still feel that she is continuing to say that she's defaming her character, but she hasn't told us what part. Yes, Rose has admitted that they did stay together. She did admit that part. But I guess she's not really going into a lot of detail. And she was there when they were born. But even on the last live, she was like, well, I'm a working grandmother. I work a 9 to 5. I have to work and things like that. Like, you can sense that there is no bond between her and her grandchildren. She may have been there. It's the difference between being there and you visited someone before, but then there's also a difference where I can call you up as my grandmother and you're like, oh, hey, baby, and having that bond as a grandparent. So that part, I don't know if she's not understanding. That's what they're saying. The last two children, she doesn't really have a bond. I really don't even know, based off of this, if she has a good bond with the first two. Okay, the older two boys.
I was always there. I babysat Race. We hung out. We kicked it. I stayed at Rose's house. Before my book came out, me and Rose made videos. I don't know if you guys been following Rose long enough. We made some little dance videos she made me make with her. It was like super fun. But me and Rose has always had a very challenged relationship. Now, I hope I touched on some things. But one thing I do want to touch on, and this is a very sensitive subject, and
okay, so she touched on some things, but Put a one in the chat if you believe that the mom is touching on some things and really making a good case for herself. Put a one in the chat if you think she is. Put a two in the chat if you think this is not helping her situation. And she's not proving anything. Okay. Put a one if you think that she is. Put a two if you think that she isn't. Thank you all for please hitting that like button. Okay, Rebecca says she thinks she isn't. Okay. Aries Black says she thinks she isn't. I don't really hear too many details. I'm gonna have to agree with you ladies as well. Rebecca's saying too, yes. This is not really helping her so far what we've seen. Okay. I'm still a little confused with it. So I'm just like, Mom, where are we going with this? Okay, where are we going with this? Yes, okay. 1-1. Okay. So now let's go back to Rose's live because she's about to give us some details. Finally. Okay, so notice on a live about her brother being unalived, we have now talked about the wedding. We've talked about the mom not really liking the kids. She has a new platform. She's trying to make money off of us. She's showing pictures. She's gone through all of this, but has not really gotten to what the live is about. Okay. So let's see what was the situation with her brother.
Get past 200 likes. I appreciate that. My mom wrote this book, right? And if you guys were on the live, you know I'm very, very close with my daddy. You know she kept talking about my daddy, right? And how my daddy beats her, right? And I was very respectful. I let her talk about it. I let her say that he beat her or whatever the case. Because realistically, yeah, he did. I seen a couple times. He's a totally different man now, but I don't know. My dad's always been a great dad. I love my dad to life. But you wrote this whole book about every.
Now, I don't know if you all caught that, but it appears as though they both find that the father is good now. Like the mom did admit that, yeah, he's a changed man and he is, good now. And I'm not trying to mess up his character because a lot of the things that took place were in the early 2000s. So it seems as though they both agree on that part.
Everybody about my dad, about everybody, about how you're getting through domestic violence. Did you mention in the book? Yeah, she said he beat her, Jenny said. Did you mention in the book that you had sex with my brother? Right? I feel like, and if you guys were there, I feel like you guys could have had like a hint. You guys could have kind of felt her animosity towards me stemming from my father, right? Like she said multiple times, like, your dad beat my ass while I was pregnant with you. Of course, that can give someone like a kind of resentment toward the child, right? So, so when I go to ask her, like, hey, do you think maybe you have a resentment toward me because you constantly said that my dad beat you while you were pregnant with me? She's like, no, nope, not at all. Nope, that's not at all.
Now, that was actually the question that they got stuck on that last live, where her mom did not pretty much want to answer that question. She kind of grazed over it. And so I could sometimes see, and we were talking about that if you were in an abusive relationship or, if it was an R word situation where you have a child, sometimes the situation that you're in affects your bond with that child because it could be a reminder, that child could be a reminder of what happened and so forth. And so her mom never, I don't think she gave her the answer that day, and Rose is still stuck there. It seems as though that's a question that she still has. And so that's where I think that a lot of that was stemming from trying to show that her mom was lying and she wasn't quite, front with her true feelings about her.
Anyways, she had sex with my brother. her stepson. My mom, this amazing, beautiful, soft, my mom, Grace, go in the
My name is Casey Thomas. I'm the owner here at Kween of
Sorry,
Kings.
y'all.
Here's Grayson on the video.
Grace, go in the room with presents. Really, really quick, okay? And then I'm gonna give you some more candy. And we're gonna go to the pool. Okay? My mom had sex with her stepson, which was my brother, which was my daddy's son. So it's not biological to her, but still, that's disgusting. And she had sex with him, causing my dad to send my brother away. From my understanding, at the time, my brother was like 17 years old. And it caused my daddy to send they lived in Ohio at this time. It caused my daddy to send my brother away. My firstborn brother, my dad's firstborn child, my dad's everything. My dad's everything. Sorry, that's my brother. But anyways, my dad sent my brother away because of this. That was his wife at the time. He sent them away to my uncle in Las Vegas. There, my brother was like getting, what's the word? My brother kept calling my dad and saying, Dad, I want to come home. I want to come home. Like, I want to come home. And so finally, my dad started getting like a good feeling. Okay, it's time to send my son home. So the day before he sent him home, my brother got beaten with a gun in the head over a bike. And the guy was robbing him with his bike. He got beaten in the head and the gun went off and my brother died. So I just want to say, Janata, before you get on here and like tell lies because of your blackened heart, when I called you this morning and said, please don't post my family, and you said, oh, you could dish it out, but you can't take it. I didn't dish anything out. All I dished out is that I don't have a good relationship with you. But now I'm dishing it out. I've never dished out anything about you except didn't like my marriage, my wedding, because you called me a bitch at my wedding, which is a fact. And I dished out that we don't have a relationship, and that hurts me. That's the only thing. If you guys have been here, you guys know that's what I've dished out this entire time.
Whew. So that story was a little heavy. It appears as though, according to Rose, that the stepbrother um, was unalived by someone with a gun, but it was directly related to him being put out because he, according to her, allegedly slept with her mom, and he was kicked out, and then that event led to him being in a different place, and so it was a chain reaction. And I guess the title, the caption of her video made it look like it was something that the mom did to the stepbrother. And so those are some heavy allegations to put on a title because it could be misleading. But I guess she was outlining how it led to his ultimate demise based off of how it started. And so I wanted to hear what did her mom have to say about that, because that was a huge allegation of being a married woman and then sleeping with allegedly your stepson. So let's see what the mom had to say.
I'm going to wrap this up and say one thing. Heavenly Father, Almighty God, Yahuwah, I pray that you be with me in the way that I say this, in all due respect for my dead stepson. Okay. My stepson was killed. The Bible says, honor your mother and your father. That is the first commandment with a promise. My stepson disobeyed his father. He did not honor his father. I had been such a mother to him while his father, he was young. I give him excuses. I guess I give people excuses because I see the good in everybody. He was a good provider, Rose's father and my dead stepson's father, but he was always in the streets and was not at home. I was taking my stepson to basketball, football practice. I was coming up and back to the school when the teachers was telling me this and that was going on. I was 100% his mom. All due respect, he has a mom, but he came to live with us. And because we had a bigger house, we were living in the suburbs, he had a better school to go to, and they had me as I was taking care of my kids and sending them back and forth to gymnastics and sports and soccer, and my sons to basketball and football. I was that mom. I was the all-American but black mom, you see? And so his mom lived in the projects, a not very good area, and she said she was having problems with her son. So her son came to live with us, and unfortunately, he did come on to me, and I did tell his dad, and his dad decided to send him to Las Vegas. And that was not my fault. And I am still...
Now, it was interesting that the mom said that he did come on to her, but what I did not hear is her denying whether she slept with him or not. That part. I was waiting for her to like say, "Oh, I didn't sleep with him," and so forth. But I didn't hear that yet.
Extremely sad to this day. I felt like, should I have told his dad he came on to me? Or should I have just been quiet? If I had been quiet, he may have continued to come on to me. I actually told him, hey, you can't do that. You got to respect your dad. I grew up on morals, values, and principles. Respect your dad. He did not respect his dad. He came on to me. So what I did was, I told his dad, even though his dad was a liar, a cheater, a beater, slept with people in my family, all sorts of things at that time. In his defense, he is a...
Now that's a lot going on right there, because he was coming on to her. She said she told him. So she never really said if she did or didn't, but she also just threw that out of nowhere that he was sleeping with someone in her family. Okay. I noticed that this is something that they have in common. They will just throw things out there like it that has nothing to do with what you're supposed to be talking about. You're just throwing it out there. Okay, Rebecca said she believes she did. That's what Rebecca. I'm like, okay.
Changed man today, but I'm speaking on the past. Okay. So I told his dad, my abuser and husband at the time, hey, your son's gotten out of hand. I know you haven't been able to be home that much, but he's come on to me, you know what I'm saying? So you probably needed to have a talk with him. Well, I didn't know he was going to send him to Las Vegas, Nevada, but that's what he did. And we were living in Ohio. So he went there for the summer. He said, I'm only going to send him there for the summer. When he comes back, he can go and stay with his mom, his real mom. You know, I'm going to go ahead and talk to his mom. I'm like, darn, you know, I think that might be the best thing, because I can't have someone living in this house. I'm young. I probably look young. I'm still attractive, you know, like I can't deal with that. You're running the streets. You're screwing other women. He's seeing the way you're abusing me. He's coming to me telling me, hey, I don't like the way my dad's treating you and disrespecting you. And I actually elaborate a little bit of that, I believe, in my book, okay? Breaking Cycles, the story of breaking cycles of abuse. This is not about the book. I'm not trying to advertise the book. I'm true.
Okay, she always says that. I mean, my thing is this. Just say that, you know, give your book its props that, oh, I discussed this in my book. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you have to keep saying, oh, I'm not trying to advertise my book, automatically people are going to say, I don't believe you. Yeah, you are trying to advertise your book. these are details in your book. Okay, so I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. But anytime you're saying I'm not trying to advertise it, it's just like I don't know.
Fully trying to clear my name. Okay? I have no reason to come to you guys and tell you none of this because I have nothing to prove to none of you. I love all people, and especially women that's been through abuse and things that I've been through, young mothers, keep going. Be strong. All of that. Okay? I'm all for the people. Black, white, polka dot. I'm actually mixed with white.
My thing is, if you have nothing to prove to us, why are you trying to prove it? Okay. Like, I noticed that she also gets defensive. They have that in common. Can get very defensive with the subscribers and people that are commenting on what they are doing. They can get very defensive. And so that came out of nowhere because you're telling us, your story, and you're trying to clear your name or justify your actions, but then she goes into, well, I don't have anything to prove to y'all. Okay, well, we're just trying to figure out why are you on live. But it's something else I wanted to highlight that she said in this next video that may give some insight into why Rose is also very aware and brings up race and color a lot. Let's take a listen at what she said in this clip.
I'm actually mixed with a bunch of different things. You see the hair and all that, okay? Rose is mixed with Jamaican from her dad's side. Her dad put a paper bag to clear up the I'm the one who's prejudiced against black and white. Her dad, when I first met him as a youngster coming from California to Ohio, I wasn't used to racial differences. If you guys know California, California is a, hey, everybody, we all love each other, let's do it. Like, we're a very, I don't know the word politically, is it liberal? I don't know. But we're just like for the people type of state, right? So I came to Ohio from California. Me and my mom had issues. And, I came to Ohio. And so anyway, as time went on, after my kids, I met Rose's dad, right? We got into a relationship. I remember one day, he had already started to abuse me back then. We were in the house, because we lived in my grandmother's house. And we fixed it up and we ended up selling it. That's when we first started doing fix and flips, which, as I told you, I'm a real estate investor and broker, and that's what I love doing that, actually. So, make a long story short, he called me downstairs in front of all of his friends from Ohio. I'm the Cali girl, happy-go-lucky. He said I don't cuss enough. I don't cuss at my kids. I'm too, I don't know, nerdsy or whatever he thought. I don't know. I should be more hood. I didn't grow up in the hood, so I'm not hood. Hey, it is what it is. I've kicked it with people in the hood because good girls always like to be around a little bit of ratchetness. But anyway, just letting you guys know a little bit of history. So I'm here to tell you, recording will be stopped. Okay, I think I'm going too long, but however, let's see if this recording is still going on. I don't know too much about this. Okay, yeah, it is. Just want you guys to know, so her dad brought a paper bag down. He put it up to my face and he said, "You just passed the test." I said, "What test?" He said, "You're just light enough. You have to be lighter than the paper bag for me to talk to you." And he's sitting up here black as the daggone counter and has these clothes on me. I said, I like black, I like light, I like white, I like everything. I like people. I like your heart. I like the way you treat me. You know what I'm saying? So in the beginning, he was treating me,
Now, wait a minute. The paper bag test. Okay, because she said the dad is dark. Okay, I believe Jamaican. So why is he putting a paper bag next to her to see if she's lighter than a paper bag? Okay, now there's some underlying issues there. And we notice even when we're watching Rose, like how she said, my mono race children. Like, I haven't heard anyone describe their children as mono race. Like, it is very obvious now where some of it stems from how she was raised. Okay, it's probably some of the things that she was around and heard. Okay, because she focuses a lot on race and color. And when I say race, not her son, but you know what I'm saying. In color. So I'm starting to now see this is why sometimes you have to take it back to the foundation in how certain people were raised to kind of bring it forward to how they are nowadays in the current situation.
Wheeled me in. Oh, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna love you. But hey, taking care of and loving does not come in just the dollars, okay? He might have had the dollars to do that, but the reality is you got to be sure that somebody's taking care of your heart, taking care of your physical body, not to get hurt, taking care of your mental, and putting that paper bag up to my face and telling me that I barely made the cut. I guess I barely was light enough, hurt me to my heart. And that's the beginning of emotional, psychological, and all of that type of abuse. Red flag, ladies. Ching! You're good enough. You're good enough if you're light, if you're dark, if you're white, if you're black, if you're polka dot, as my grandmother grew up telling me. She says, I don't care if
Oh my goodness, Rebecca. You had me laughing at that comment. Oh my goodness.
you're polka dot. If you're a good person, that's who you are. So I've always learned to look at people on their good side, you know? And I guess I overlooked a lot of red flags, okay? But I'm not the prejudiced one. My grandfather that my grandmother married, that we call Grandpa Allen, that I loved to the core, that was in the room with me when I had my son, because my son's dad was in jail, that I held his hand. He was Polish, as white as a snowflake, and Rose knows how much I love Alan. He came to my house on many dinners all the time, him and my grandmother. They got married in Hawaii, which is why I always said I wanted to go to Hawaii, because my grandmother and Grandpa Alan, my step grandpa, got married in Hawaii. I am truly not a racist. I hope and I pray that you guys believe me and not all of this.
Oh my gosh, y'all. It's the way she said that. I hope that you guys believe me. I'm like, oh my goodness. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for joining. Oh my gosh. When she said that, I was like, are you running for office or something? Because this is not a this is not a debate. Oh my goodness. This lady, as she's talking, I it's hard to follow because she does not stay on topic. She will start with one thing and she goes off into a whole other journey. Okay, a whole other little journey, and she takes it somewhere totally different. Uh, right, Lolo said, I'm going to hope and pray for you.
Chaos. Rose needs prayer. Pray for my daughter. She has her psychological issues, and I can give it to her. She called me and said, I have a platform. Okay, you have a platform, but that don't mean you abuse me and defamation of character to me. I have a platform too. I'm a real estate broker. I'm an author. I'm a mother. I'm a friend. I'm a wife. Like, I got some situations going on too, honey. My life is just as important as yours. Do not bring my character down. I am.
And I thought on that first live that she did recently with Rose, I thought she said she was engaged, but she just said she's a wife. I do remember her because she was concerned with what her fiance had said or something, because he was in there and Rose was saying something. She's like, oh, can we write that a different way? So I don't know if she married yet. I thought she said her fiance. But okay, carry on.
A woman of God, and God will take care of his chosen ones.
Whoo, child. I was so confused. I really thought that the mom was going to give us like more information about what Rose stated in that live about the stepson, or really try to clear that up. But she took us on a journey, okay, on other things. But in listening to her, you can see some similarities with how they uh, project different things, okay? How they deflect off of certain things. Pay attention to the things that they say and that they don't say. They're trying to convince us that the other one is lying. Now, with some things, it could sometimes be like a half truth. And so I just see a lot of that. Like, I'm going to give you a part, but I'm not going to go into details. I see a lot of that happening with both of them. Now, her mom yesterday did a post on her community wall, and she said, my heart is broken because I don't agree with cyberbullying or hurting people. Clearing up lies is right to do, especially when the lies involve you, as I did. Now, Mom, I really don't think that you did a good job with that part with clearing up anything. Okay, I don't really think it helped the case whatsoever. But bullying is not okay. Please stop dragging Queen of Kings. It breaks my heart. I still love her, and she has a million followers and have believe her. But I am stronger than Rose. I've been through more. I can handle people talking mess about me, but Rose can't. And mental health is real. It can drive people to unalive themselves. So stop the bullying. Please let it go. Show Rose, a young mother, some love and forgiveness. I forgive her and God forgives too. And so as her mom, she is going to, still have some feelings and thoughts about, her daughter and wanting to probably protect her as a mother. And sometimes I think when people talk about certain things, they consider it bullying, but it's not necessarily bullying if you are sharing your opinion about a situation or trying to give some constructive feedback. Okay. Um, and I do agree though, mental health is important. So yeah, those are things I don't agree with. I don't agree with bullying, of course, but there are some things that even I follow a content creator and she highlights a lot of different things having to do with the children. Okay, shout out to Chanel. And she highlights a lot of different things that even I missed. There were some things that I've missed because, like I said, I have not been following them for years and know about all of the older videos and being able to see patterns. Because when you follow a person and then you go back and you start seeing these videos, you start seeing patterns. That's why it's good to, even with the parents, go back. How was she raised? Because that shows how she is right now. Also, it gives an insight into how she's raising her children. Okay. And we've been concerned, a lot of people have been concerned about her mental health, in that she seemed like she was on the brink of nervous breakdown. Okay, which went back to even after the live with the mother, how she spiraled and was doing back to back lives. Okay, going off on her husband, cursing him out, saying all of these outrageous things, but then only to come back with the live after that. And they are just so in love and calm, like nothing has ever happened. So now, because people are calling her out on stuff she said, she's saying that people shouldn't do that because they're saying she was lying. Well, if it wasn't the truth and you're now having to prove something, obviously it was a lie. Okay. And so the not sticking with the script or the story or the truth for that matter, people are going to call it out. Healing Hearts, good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for commenting. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome. President Gold says she also lies naturally, guys. Don't be convinced by her. She's conniving. Yes, I have picked up on that too, President Gold. I have picked up on that too. If you pay attention to people there and you watch them, Michael, and you watch them over and over, you start to see. I've used to follow another content creator that is similar to her. They do some of the same things, y'all. It's almost like I'm in a twilight zone. When they're on live, they focus in on the negative comments and try to go back and forth with the negative comments because they think people are criticizing them when they're asking a question or giving them feedback to help the children. Okay. And they think that that is someone bullying them. Okay. President Gold said her channel has taken on a dark feeling. Do you agree? I agree. I agree. And I can also tell President Gold from watching the chat from the people who have been following her from for a long time. I'm noticing that a lot of those people are even saying, "Oh my gosh, I miss when this used to be a family channel." Like, at what point did we take a turn? And I think recently with the kissing video with her son, and he was kissing all over her, and then that started going viral. Um, that brought to light some things, and now it's like trying to kind of put the cover back over some people's eyes, okay? Because now people are starting to pay closer attention to some things that are taking place. Um, and so, yes, I totally agree because if you notice, even now, she's trying to prove some things like that have been stated in comments. Like, who watches the comments just to keep proving them wrong? Okay, people are going to say whatever they want. It's their opinion. But if you have to keep proving this, let me go ahead and show you this and do a whole video on me asking YouTube this question because viewers are saying XYZ. Like, who does that? That's taking up a lot of your time, okay? To try to prove it. People are going to think what they want to think. Bertree, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So they're going to think what they want to think. And so when you say one thing and you have it on video, know that people are screen recording and they've already seen that thing. And like President Gold said, you can't unsee it. Okay. So that's why they now have certain opinions about what's taking place in your home because you have now exposed your home to millions of viewers. Okay, so we can't stop people from having their opinions and thoughts. And some people genuinely want to be of help. So it can't be looked at as in bullying. Of course, we do have some that cyberbully, but are we trying to help you? Are we trying to help the children? Okay, because we can see the parallels between the mom's stories and her stories are not the same. Okay, some things are the same, but we can definitely see there are some similarities in how her and her mom, their thought process and how they act and talk and think. Okay, and divert attention. No, we need to get back on track. This was the question, and her mom went all around that question on that last live that she did with her. Never really got back to the point, got upset, and got off. Rose does some of that same things in some of her lives. She will get upset, divert attention to something else, and then get off and delete the live. We've seen that time and time again. So some things go back to the foundation of where it all started. President Gold says she seems very scary and weird and negative. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells and I'm not even Brit. I'm telling you, you have to be careful on what you say in those comments, okay? Because I don't really comment. I do watch. I think I've said a couple of things because they will probably block you too. Because some people do not take feedback and criticism well. There have been people in my comments under some of my videos that say, "Oh, you talk too much." Okay, let me clarify why I'm talking on that part. You know, it doesn't affect me. I'm going to continue to talk because I haven't gone to a YouTube channel where the content creator does not talk. Okay, so let me just clarify. Sometimes you just have to clarify with people. It's all about your tone and how you say things. If you go off on everyone that has a disagreeing opinion with you, that's not going to help your channel. It does not help you grow either. Okay, so not everyone is against you. Some people are just truly trying to help. Okay, but when you come back at people, they're gonna come back at you. Some people can't, they're gonna match energy. Okay, and there have been some disturbing things that we have been seeing recently. Okay, some erratic behavior that we have been seeing. And now that the mom, those two lives that her mom did, I think it opened up some wounds. Okay, some things have opened up, and now that her mom has a YouTube channel, I believe, in my opinion, and I heard that Rose has moved also to Facebook, so she's on multiple platforms. Maybe because her mom is now on YouTube. Her mom now has a voice on her own channel. And I believe that she is a little afraid of what mom may expose. Okay, Michael, hold on. She may be a little afraid of what her mom may expose. President Gold said, then she says she's welcome. Oh, she welcomes constructive criticism, please. I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. Yes, they open wounds that should have or normally would have been discussed privately. That's their fault. Yes, some things should have been probably a private conversation first. And I do hope that they get some type of therapy, family therapy, because there are some things that happen. There, some abuse that was discussed allegedly. The mom was talking about that. She has some of that in her book. Then Rose discussed how she went from home to home. Okay, which could also highlight how that could affect how they move. Okay, from here to there, and so forth. And how that affected her without, creating a bond or with her siblings, where that could sometimes make you feel like the black sheep of a family, which could then give insecurities, or that you have to show people that you are better than what they thought. Like that can stem from some of that, okay, of how she reacts and how she acts now. And so we talked about breaking the cycle. The mom has the book title Breaking the Cycle. Okay, in a sense, in hindsight, it looked like Rose was trying to do that because she was saying how her grandmother left the mom left her. So she's not trying to do that with her kids. But if you're not going to do that, you also want to be present and make sure that you're properly taking care of your children as well. Okay. Because that can be, I know postpartum depression and things like that happen. She just had a baby. So you just have to be very careful. Like I was talking about the situation from yesterday. They were in the gym working out and they had the little baby there. The floor is not sanitary. Okay. And then I was nervous that the little baby was going to get hit with one of those dumbbells. Then the other children, I'm not sure if she had someone outside watching them that she said, could you please watch my children? Because that was my question. I was like, where are the other boys? Because I would have, thought they would have been running around in the gym or something, playing or something like that. And it wasn't until they went back outside is when I said, oh, Lord, the boys been outside in the pool. I'm like, well, who was watching the boys in the pool? And so someone in the chat was saying that that Race needed a life vest on. So is that going to be taken as a negative or cyberbullying just because someone is mentioning that? No, they're trying to help. Okay, to ensure that nothing happens to him while he's in the pool. So if you're going to put your life on display like that, be prepared, okay, that you may come under pressure and people are going to give feedback and critique certain things. President Gold said Rose is definitely the black sheep. Right. And her mom never lets us forget, okay, that, and this is another thing to think about. Her mom says, I've heard her say it at least 3 times, that Rose is not my only child, that I have other children, I have other grandchildren. Well, you know what? When you say things like that, that does belittle a person and make them feel less than or not important. Okay. Yes, we know that you have a number of children, but I remember I was taught being fair is not always equal. Okay. Because what if this child at the time needs something different than the other children need? Okay. So, right now, during that live, I think Rose was trying to connect with her mom. And I think she even talked about how hard it is to, disconnect. Um, I can kind of see that. That can be very off-putting to even say that. I have other children. Healing Heart says, open book, I started to watch her when she just had her own children. I saw the change once she had Brett's children. Wow. So, Healing Hearts, let me ask you, do you think that because of the race situation, the interracial marriage and having to navigate being an interracial family, do you believe that that could have maybe affected how she's raising her children or how she now thinks and feels that she has to act? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me read that. President Gold said, yes, makes me scared to mix blood with the pinks. Okay. Healing Heart says, I just did not like the change, so I unsubscribed. Now here we are. Wow. Wow. A lot of people are saying that in the comments. She even said the pregnancy was hell and race is bad as hell. I would never. I mean, he's also at that age where they are something else. Okay, you would think terrible twos, but threes and four. Oh my gosh, it's hard at three. Her mom is a narc too. Yes, I have a friend who talks a lot about narcissism, and she believed that the mom is too as well. Uh-huh. Yes, self-centered. They both act the same way. I did notice that. So I just wanted to pretty much kind of highlight this last live, not the last one, but well, this was her mom's last live. But when Rose went live that day talking about her brother was unalive because of her mom, that title was a little misleading. And so we wanted to get more information on what really happened with that. I, in my opinion, do not feel that the mom did really good job of really proving her point. Because, like I said, pay attention to what people say and what they don't say, according to what was put out there. Okay, that didn't match what was stated. So I'm hoping that they will some way find some type of healing and can move forward in this. But I have a feeling that her mom is going to be here for some time, and especially to promote that book. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Healing Heart said no, because when she was pregnant with the third child, she was fixing up the home in Vegas. She was a whole fool, but not so much. Oh, okay. Okay, got you. Wow. That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting to see that there is a change in that also the subscribers have noticed the change. I am noticing like now, and even from the time where I subscribe, there has been a lot of change, even over this past few weeks and in a month, there has been, and they've recently moved. So with any type of transition, I know that that is a lot, but it just seems like even the living space, you're not trying to be all in people's pockets or whatever, but she was trying to make it known on her post today, I think, when she was saying the husband, Brett, has a lot of money. Um, just the living situation, the size. With four children, y'all, we were a family of four in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I felt that the walls were caving in. Okay, so I can only imagine when you have a family of six, okay, living in a small type of, I guess that's an apartment. And I was just shocked when she said that they were moving. I thought that it would be to a more spacious area or a house, because I know that that can sometimes even affect If you feel like the walls are closing in or it's just congested in the house, not enough space, that can also affect you too. Okay. And then kids need areas to play and run and so forth. And so hopefully, they are planning on getting a bigger space and home for their family because they've now transitioned to Hawaii. So that can be an even better space. Right now, it just seems like I've only seen the kids either playing in the house or in the pool. And I think school is about to be in next month for a lot of people. So maybe that'll give them more time to get out and get, time to run around and play and so forth. But yeah, so I hope that you all kind of learned something today from the mind. I know I was looking for more, okay? But maybe as time goes on, we'll continue to hear more from that mom and learn more about who is basically telling the truth because right now it's hard to tell, okay? But I thank you all so, so much for joining today. Make sure you hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, make sure that you hit the subscribe and hit the bell so that you will receive notifications anytime that I go live. Thank you all so, so much for joining, and I hope that you all have a blessed Sunday.
And make sure you go to our channel at themaybreakroom.com in the open book for the common thread and buy me a coffee.
Thank you. You heard that from my son, Micah Man, at the Mabry Crew YouTube channel. And also, I have one last question from Healing Heart. She said, open book, please let me know what you think of mom. I pretty much think that the mom, I do believe she has some narcissistic behavior. She's exhibiting that. I believe that she does not know how to bond with Rose based off of some things that she discussed. I believe that she had a lot of behavior issues as a child that caused her and her mom not to really have a bond. Okay. So I think they're trying to figure that out, how to have a relationship first, because it's hard for her to have a relationship with her grandchildren if she hasn't even learned how to have a relationship with her own child, in my opinion. And so I think there's a lot of, she's trying to use her religion as a like, I love God. Yes, we all can love God and so forth, but we also have to take accountability for our actions. And so some things I think she's trying to protect her reputation and her how she looks out here for the sake of social media and for her job, because she brings that up a lot as well. So those are my opinions, my thoughts. Thank you so much. They like to do the little closing. Thank you. Love you too, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
I hope you have a wonderful day. And make sure you subscribe.